Scoop-a-loop.
All right, so this is coming. This is coming off of the announcement, or not really announcement. I guess the fans noticed that Oscar Isaac, who was meant to have his own personal, not even panel, he's going to give a talk about his experiences, I guess, working in the Disney trilogy, right, Star Wars trilogy, and then literally only a few days away from Star Wars Celebration, he's out. He's out, and they were funding the money for people that were supposed to come see him at the event, and the only excuse was a generic scheduling conflicts. And at the time, I had a personal. Again, I've always tried to look at the tea leaves, but based on my experience in the industry, he clearly had this scheduled in months ago. His PR team would have done the work. His agents would have done the work. One would think this was important for his PR to remind everybody he was involved in Star Wars and this major franchise and all, and it's good PR for him. And I've looked at, he's had actually a lot of animation projects he's voiced recently, but he's not working a tremendous amount. He's working, but I looked at his IMDb Pros. I couldn't find a lot of stuff that would conflict. It's like, what is a scheduling conflict, right? And my instinct was something is not right for him to walk out with a scheduling conflict a few days before this event, which is a high profile for his career. And then I asked my contacts inside of Lucasfilm, and they got back to me with surprising, and to some degree, it was surprising what they came back with. But it also shows where we are. And again, for those of you like my friend formerly known as douchebag Kylo said, I'll believe that Kennedy is gone when I see her dead corpse. Again, you're smelling. These events smell bad. They smell bad. So certain the corpse is rotting, or even if you don't see it yet. And so we'll go into it. So we've got this. This was a scoop that my Patreon members had several days ago.
Read up a little bit, yeah.
You want me to read what?
I can't read.
It's too small.
Too small.
All right. So you know what? I'll just start reading it, and we'll see what the
it's up on the screen too.
Yes, go. So this is a scoop that my Patreon members have had for several days, and I'll quote. And so the day has come at last where Jon Favreau has decided that he has had enough of Kathleen Kennedy's interference in his vision for Star Wars, and he has begun flexing his muscles, establishing himself as the de facto head of Lucasfilm with a very aggressive move against Kennedy. Our Disney insider Sparrow, my contact inside of Lucasfilm / Disney, our Disney insider Sparrow reports that Jon Favreau personally told Oscar Isaac to cancel his appearance at Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo. He did so in direct defiance of Kennedy, who had personally invited Isaac and wanted his presence at the event to serve as a reminder of the Disney Star Wars trilogy that she now sees slipping out of her grasp forever. And as Sparrow said, Favreau was unusually aggressive. Now, this is where I was surprised, and I press back on my source on this. Unusually aggressive, laying down the law with Isaac. From what my source tells me, Jon essentially told Oscar that he would withdraw from Celebration, or quote, and this was the quote from my source, or quote, never work with Lucasfilm again in the future, end quote. Now that's pretty intense. That doesn't necessarily fit the persona of Jon Favreau, and we're going to talk about that here. So, and I said, and Oscar Isaac, like any intelligent actor who senses where the winds of power are blowing, immediately agreed. Now here's a quote from my contact. Quote, Oscar is not loyal to Kennedy, end quote, Sparrow said, adding that Isaac understood that attending Celebration as her guest was an unwise idea, since it is clear to everyone, except maybe some of our colleagues on YouTube, but it's unclear. It's clear to everyone involved with Lucasfilm that Kathleen Kennedy is yesterday's news. So now we get to the point where I push back. I said, okay. I push back because this, I've heard a lot about Jon Favreau's persona and his reputation. I have friends who work on his crew, and so I was like, all right. So when I expressed surprise that Jon Favreau, a generally amiable man who does not like confrontation, would be this direct and demanding, Sparrow said bluntly, and this is the money shot of the quotes they gave me, quote, Jon has zero fucks left to give, end quote. According to our insider, Kennedy's nonstop drama and refusal to step down even after Favreau leaked to the trades that she was leaving this year pushed Jon over the edge. And now people at Lucasfilm are seeing a side of Favreau that both scares them and fills them with respect. Jon Favreau is done being Mr. Nice Guy with Kennedy and has taken on the mantle of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Do what needs to be done, elegantly if possible, ruthlessly if necessary. And there's more to talk about Gina there, but that's the information on what happened with Oscar Isaac in that scoop. And that was really chilling because I believe it, because the behavior, Oscar Isaac's behavior, smelled wrong. It didn't smell normal to me, and it smelled like he was threatened. And it feels like Jon gave him a threat, saying, "Look, maybe I'm sure it was done in the Velvet Hammer. It's like, hey, I love you, man. You're a great actor, but I need you to get away from this trilogy, and I need you to get away from Kennedy because I'm done with her. And so if you play along with this, maybe we got other work for you. If you don't play along with this, well, I'm sorry, I'm a pretty busy schedule." I mean, that's pretty intense to push him to that place. And I do believe my source that is what happened. I believe them.
What's Oscar's professional prior past working experience with KK and with Favreau? What is his relationships?
Well,
because you're right in the sense that, listen, if he was set to be in the celebration, I think he was the only guest at this point, correct?
Certainly at that event, he was speaking by himself. It was not a panel.
This is something that you plan months and months ahead. We just talked about actor schedules. Okay? You don't just pull out for no good reason. Right? This is, Oscar's got his people, and Oscar just finished maybe a month or two ago, Frankenstein with Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
It's huge. He's been working on it. So this has probably been in the planning stages for at least a half a year. And then you're saying he's out. Something's up.
And out a few days before.
So a few days before, something is up. So that's definitely for real. That is not that's not a stretch.
And then in something so important as the Star Wars trilogy, in which he was one of the leads, that put him, I think, on the map for a lot of normies.
It was big. It was huge.
And I was,
in 2013, 2012, 13, when he got the role, who was Oscar Isaac? No one knew who he was. I did, but he was subjugated, to cult films. Llewellyn sure got him on the map, but no one knew about the film.
Like Drive. I saw him in the indie film Drive. He was very good in that, right? And Ex Machina, but not a lot. Ex Machina was a good film. I don't know. 10 years ago came out. Yeah.
Also to the Year of Violence with Jessica Chastain. He was incredible in that film. But these are all small films. No one knew this. Put him on the map. Yeah. Go on.
And for him to walk away within 2 weeks of this event that had been planned probably 9 months in advance, as if you're telling me over the course of those 9 months, whatever this alleged scheduling thing was, he couldn't work around it. Like I said, I went to his IMDb Pro. He's been mostly done animation work this past year. At least
King of Kings is out. Yeah. That's another thing. King of Kings, it takes time and he's the lead role in King of Kings. Yeah. He's playing Jesus. It's coming out this weekend, which we have a story on. Go on.
And also, he actually, my friend and is a producer I know, European producer Arno Krimmer, produced a movie that hasn't come out yet called I forgot the title, Dante. He plays Dante in the movie. So he plays Dante, the lead character of Dante in the movie. And that was wrapped months ago for at least my conversation with Arno. So unless there's some pickups he had to do, but even if there were pickups for that movie, I think he was with Al Pacino. I think he was in that movie with Al Pacino. Unless there are pickups that he has to do, but pickups can be scheduled around. I have to fly to Tokyo this weekend. I'll do it either Thursday or Monday when I get back. Right?
Absolutely.
What could be an event that he's not going for a week? It's a weekend in Tokyo, whatever, a couple of days in Tokyo. It's not professional behavior. Which suggested to me something's wrong.
And then let me say also this too. He's an older family man as well. All that is in play always. So maybe he's coming. Maybe this was so planned that it's coming off or coming before a family vacation, or we'll take your family on vacation to Japan. We'll pay for everything for a week. Sure. You just pop in, say hello, then you can go with your family to Osaka. You go there, you go there. That was part. I mean, that's always hey, why did you take this movie? Well, I needed money and the location. I'm in Italy for 3 weeks. Who's gonna say no?
Something smells wrong about this. Something is not
Mhm.
right. The generic I'm leaving for scheduling conflicts. You
Mhm.
say I have a scheduling conflict with this movie that I'm currently filming because you've embarrassed Kathleen Kennedy by dropping out of her only major panel about the Star Wars trilogy that she did. You've embarrassed the head of the studio by doing so. You at least have to mea culpa by explaining why you did it. And the fact he doesn't do so suggests that he was told, just say whatever you have to, just get out.
It also doesn't sound like much of a celebration, man. What are we celebrating? What are we really celebrating? Andor? They're not going to do anything. They're not going to show any Mando footage. They're not going to have Pedro. I don't know. It means it too soon. I don't know, man.
They'll probably have some Mando footage. I don't know. I think I would probably do a surprise showing of at least some scenes. I don't know.
If they were smart, yeah, you start to build it, but that doesn't come out for another year,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's
That's
a
why
little too.
well, you do a teaser. You do it. That's what I would do.
When is it coming out?
It's coming out to May 2026.
So yeah,
1 year.
we're not going to see anything till November, December of this year.
Yeah, but
Cool.
smartly, Favreau is very smart, and he would put out maybe even a teaser. Maybe it's just a quick moment of Mando stepping into the screen, and you go to black.